Kandinsky was a Russian painter who is known for helping create the art movement of abstraction. Abstract artwork often is shown focusing on line, color, and shape rather than drawing objects, people, or places. Hi, thank you for joining me. Today we are going to do a painting inspired by Vasily Kandinsky, and we are going to take out our materials and let's get. Alright, so the first thing you'll notice is you have one big paper and then you have 4 small papers. We're going to put the big paper aside and we're just going to be working with these small rectangle pieces of paper. There should be 1, 2, 3, 4. We're going to start just with our pencil. And what I want us to do on one piece is we're going to draw a circle. And we're going to keep drawing circles around. And when we go to paint, we're going to be painting inside these circles. So you don't want them to be too thin, but you can make as many lines as you want. They can be a little bit more of an oval shape if you want. You could do a smaller one in the middle and then build them out almost like a bunch of circles inside of each other, like a bullseye. All right, so I'm going to do all 4 of them. All right, so I have all 4 bullseyes, all of my circles on the 4 pieces of paper. I don't need my pencil anymore, so that can go back into my kit. We are going to put these papers aside and we are going to start doing some color mixing. So you're going to get your palette out. Your palette's going to look a little bit different than mine. Our paintbrush, and we are going to need a paper towel. Now these are tempera paint, which means that it won't stain our clothes. You might still want to get a smock on, and we still want to be careful. We don't want to be getting everywhere, but this is more washable than acrylic paint is. So we won't have to worry about our clothes getting too dirty. All right, so we have our paintbrush. We have the bristle side and we have the end. When we mix our colors, we're actually going to be using the end of our paintbrush. We will not be using our bristles. So the reason for that being is it's a lot easier to clean the back of the paintbrush and move to the next color than having to wash the bristles out every time we change a color. We'll use the bristles later. Right now we're only using the end of our paintbrush. So we have our red paint. We don't need to mix that, it's already red. In this one, you have red and yellow. We do need to mix those together. Does anybody know what color we're gonna make? I'm gonna make orange. So red and yellow make orange. So what we're gonna do is we are going to, and you're gonna have to lift the lids off of your paint to get in there to mix. I'm gonna start to mix. We're gonna start to see what color we make. We're making a really beautiful orange. Make sure all that yellow's mixed in with that red, and we have orange. You can kind of scrape the back of your paintbrush on the side, and when you go to clean it off, you're gonna almost make it like a little blanket for your paintbrush, and we're just gonna rub that off. And easy, it's cleaned. Now our next color is yellow, and it's already yellow, so we don't need to mix. We are going to be making a new color now with blue and yellow. Does anyone know what blue and yellow makes? I'm gonna mix it up, let's see. What color are we making? We made green. Make sure that gets all mixed in there really good. All right, and same thing, we're gonna almost like a blanket, clean that off, right? And then we have blue. We don't need to mix that. Our last color, so red and blue, we're gonna mix those together to make a color. We're starting to make the colors of the rainbow: red, orange, yellow, green, blue. Any guesses on what comes next? Let's see. last color is purple. So we need to clean off the back of that brush. All right. And we can put our paper towel aside for right now. We're going to move our palette over and we're going to make some room for our paintings. So now we will be using the bristles. We are going to start to paint inside. So I want you to watch first before you start. You can choose any color that you want to use. It's totally up to you. I'm going to start with yellow. And I'm going to paint everywhere that I want to use the yellow. Alright, so now I'm done using the yellow. Before I can use any other color, I need to wash my brush. So you have a little water cup. We are going to put our paintbrush in, and you're going to hold it with one hand and scrape it along the sides. Let's see if you can hear. Hear it scraping. So the next thing we're going to do, this is called milk the cow, and this is how we clean our brush. So after all the paint is off, we are going to squeeze our fingers together like we're pinching. So we have our thumb and our pointer finger, and you are going to squeeze those bristles and get all that water out. You can even use your paper towel if you want and kind of rub it on there to dry it off. So now I'm ready to choose a new color. I'm going to choose orange this time. And I'm going to keep doing this till my whole bullseye is all covered in different colors of paint. Alright, so this one is all done. It's completely painted. I don't see any white anymore, and you can still see those circle shapes that I made. I painted right in those lines. I'm going to put this to the side to let dry, and I'm going to keep doing that with all the rest of my rectangles. I'm going to do this with different colors this time, so every time it's going to look like a different pattern or different colors that I'm using. So it doesn't have to look the same as mine, and it doesn't need to look the same as the one that you just did. It'll actually be a little bit more colorful if we do different colors on different parts of the circles. So okay, all of our circles are dry and they are ready for us to glue down on our bigger piece of paper. So we're going to need all of our dry paintings, our glue, you can remove the top, our cleaned paintbrush, and our big piece of paper. So what we're going to do is we are going to turn these over, and on the white side we're going to use our paintbrush to paint the glue on. And you're going to want to paint it along the edges, almost like you're making another rectangle with the glue. And once you get the edges all done, you're going to do an X in the middle. And this should be enough glue to keep it down. So we're going to put it glue face down on our paper, and you're going to want to try and line it up against the edges as best you can. And we're going to keep doing that with our other three. Okay, so I'm going to push down the corners a little bit just to make sure that they stay glued down. And this is my piece. I can't wait to see yours. What we can do now is wash our brush. You're going to put a little bit of soap in that palm again, rub your paintbrush on there, get all that glue out, and then rinse it off. And then you can put the cap on your glue if you have some glue left, and that's it. So what you can do is you can have your parents or whoever you're with today, they could send me this in an email, a picture of your artwork. They can tag us on social media, one of our Facebook accounts, our Instagram account. I'd love to see your Kandinsky creations. And this is something you could do with really any shape. It doesn't have to be circles. You could do squares next, or triangles, or any shape you could think of. And again, you're just kind of creating. It doesn't have to look a certain way. It doesn't have to be exactly like mine, right? It's your own creation. So thank you so much for joining me today. I look forward to seeing your artwork.